Welcome to the third annual basketball sectional preview draft. I'm Thad Brown along with AJ Feldman all the way to my left, Gerard Iglesia, Rachel Libert, and Karen Iglesia. We split Karen and Gerard up because they tend to fight during these events. Also because this is the order of our draft. Once again, we are going to get you ready for the Section 5 basketball playoffs, boys and girls, by drafting our favorite teams and having a little friendly competition to see who the smartest basketball prognosticator is. Now, before we begin, as I've said, the draft order is set to my left. AJ, why don't you explain to everyone what the rules are? For everybody who watched last year's draft, they're the same, but just in case you didn't, let's remind everybody.
Yep, so boys and girls are both in this draft. There are no limitations on picking a team of certain genders. You can pick 4 boys teams, you can pick 4 girls teams, any combination of the two. The main criteria is the seeding. You have 4 teams that you pick. There's 4-round snake draft. You can pick a number 1 seed, a 2 through 4 seed, a 5 and above seed, your Cinderella team, and then a wild card, which may end up being a 1, probably will, but can be any seed that you want. And then you get points for how far you go in the sectional tournament. If you make it to the semifinals, either by winning your quarterfinal game or getting a bye into there, you get a point. You get another 2 points if you win and make it to the championship game, and you get another 3 points if you win the brick. And those add up, so if you win a brick, you're going to get 6 total points for your teams. Most overall points wins, and then tiebreakers are based on A, how many sectional titles your teams win, and then if we have to go beyond that, it is how far your teams go beyond sectionals, numbers of wins beyond sectionals. So last year it did go to the tiebreakers, and Carl won, which is why we made him leave Channel 8.
I will keep track of how everybody is doing in terms of appropriate seeding, teams selected, in terms of making sure no one takes 2 1s. Gerard likes to cheat a lot, so that's why I'm here.
Well, you are allowed to take 2 1s.
Right, but as a wild card, but we know what we're talking about. All right, so let's begin. Karen has the first overall pick, and again, you can take any team you want, boys, girls. Who we're going to start off with was the team that you believe is the absolute lock out of all 18 classes to make it and win a championship.
Well, first and foremost, let me first point this out. The only basketball coach here that's coached for 32 years in Section 5 lost. He came in last. Last place. So let me start with that. I'm not going to say who it is at the table. I'm not going to say who it is.
There's no timeouts in the
Last
draft,
year, everybody thought I had the best draft. It's not my fault they messed up.
Well, he came in last.
Blaming the kids, Gerard. Wow, low blow.
Well, I'm going to get a lot of slack for this. East High School.
I knew that's why you were purple. I knew it.
If I wore purple.
I knew it.
I assume on the boys' side.
On the boys' side. The girls are good
girls
too.
are tall.
Yeah, the girls are good
The
too.
girls are good too, but
Yeah. I'm going with East. East is 15-1. They have not lost in Section 5 as of yet. That A class, the 2 is Wayne. Wayne is might give them a run. We know you're talking about Cameron Blankenberg, who's averaging 29 points per game. But I don't know if they're deep enough to handle the athleticism of an East High. So I'm going with East for my first pick.
East is going to open their tournament against the winner of Virtus and Rochester Prep.
Yep.
This is a 15-team bracket, so no buys here.
Yep.
The championship game will be March the 8th at Blue Cross Arena. Like you said, the 2 seed in this bracket is Wayne. Geneva is the 3 seed. All right, number 2 pick, Rachel, the one who has had the least quips, the least trash to talk so far, because she took quite a bit when she made Brighton her first football pick.
did. She was right.
See what happens. See what happens.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you got number 2 pick overall. Who are you going to go?
My number 2 pick, I'm going to go over to the girls. I'm going to go with the Fairport girls. I think.
What is that cackle for?
We know.
I think out of that
pick.
class, they dominate their class. I think it's kind of, surprised Karen didn't take them. I was really expecting Karen to say that was her pick, but yeah, I'm going to go with Fairport girls.
Fairport girls are in a 16 class AAA bracket. AAA is like the newest bracket in it's not only state basketball, but Section 5 as well. The number 2 seed there is Arcadia Olympia, not a traditional basketball power. You look at the teams in this bracket other than Fairport, it's Franklin, Edison, Athena Odyssey. Rush Henrietta is the only team that even traditionally has had success. So, if you're talking about long-term general, I just dropped into Section 5 because I haven't paid attention in 10 years, and I look at this bracket, I think, Fairport's going to walk, but obviously you got to play the games. Their first game will be March 4th, their semifinal against the winner of Athena Odyssey and Rush Henrietta.
So
She's
I
already got
kind
a
of
point.
helped.
She's in the lead.
That's right.
I already helped her. Rachel and I spoke off topic, right? And we decided that I was going to help her out by giving her that one. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Yeah. Girl power. We were last in the last drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Both kicked out.
That is not allowed already. All right, Gerard, you got pick number 3 overall. Where are you going to go with your first pick?
I'm going to go with Carl Jones' method, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to pick a number 2 seed to start. Aquinas girls.
I
love
like
that
that
pick.
pick.
Man,
I
I knew
love
he
that
was
pick.
going to go there. Oh.
Go ahead, lay out your argument
What's
here.
your argument?
I mean, they're on a roll. They just beat Bishop Kearney, who has 3 D1 players, convincingly last week. They have Molly O'Toole, D2 player. They have AJ Orr. Loren Green.
Loren Green.
Who's going
How
to
can you
be-
forget about Loren?
Yeah,
Green?
Loren.
Yeah.
So they're solid. Jada Harvey, they're really, really good team, solid team.
Yeah.
And that's in probably the hardest division out of everybody.
That's why I'm surprised you went with them. That's why I was like kind of shocked. That's like a real hard.
They got to get by Webster Schrader.
That's the Schrader, man. When you
Schrader.
have Bria Watkins, just drop 30.
Just to get to the
Yeah.
finals. That's a tough one, but I think they're the best 2 seed out of everybody.
So Aquinas is actually the 3 seed.
Yeah.
The same thing. It's still in the same bracket
Yeah,
we were
same.
talking about.
Yeah.
But AQ's the 3 seed. They're going to open against Churchville Chili on the 25th, which is what, today?
Yep.
That's today. So that'll be their round 1 game. No points for that one. You got to actually score your first point with the next win because that is a 17-team bracket. So it's a 4-round tournament. But they would take on the winner of Canandaigua and Spencerport in their next game. And then Penfield, a team you can never sleep on girls-wise is the 2 seed. And you're already talking about Schrader. Schrader's in that bracket too. Where are they? Schrader's the 4 seed.
You're the
so,
4.
Yeah, so you got Schrader and Bria Watkins on the other half of that bracket. You wouldn't see them till the finals. But I love Aquinas has been really good this year. I think that's a great 2 to 4 pick. All right, AJ, snake draft. So you get 2 picks in a row here, your first and your second pick of the draft.
All right, I'm going to go with my first 1 seed. I'm going all the way down to Class D on the boys' side
I knew it.
and take Fillmore.
Yeah.
Fillmore is 17-3 on the season.
Knew it.
Class D, it is kind of a weaker class this year. Right now, there are only 2 schools above 500. This has been the Avoca-Prattsburg bracket, but they are having a bit of a down year. They're the 5th seed. That is going to be potentially a semifinal game, and, the pedigree will help. But Fillmore has been very strong this year. The only other team above 500 is Andover-Whitesville. They beat them by 30 on January 24th, so they're battle-tested.
Jeez.
Fillmore averages 70 points per game. Andover-Whitesville is just behind them. No one else is over 54, so they can put the ball in the hoop. Brody Vance, I believe, on their team. Brody Vance, I believe, is on another team. Campbell Muker, I don't know if I'm saying that correct, 19 points. And then Jonah Bialik, 2 of their top players. So I'm going with the record, their standing so far. I haven't seen Fillmore play this year, but I expect to see them at the BCA winning a brick.
So, I'll underline it very simply this way. Fillmore is the 1 seed. The 2 seed is Andover-Whitesville, and as you just said, they beat them by 30 recently, right?
Yeah.
So that feels like a fairly good pick to me. Fillmore will open their tournament on Friday night at home against the winner of Elba and Hinsdale. The championship of that bracket, Class D for the boys, is March 8th at Blue Cross Arena. Okay.
On the
AJ,
way here, who did I say was the biggest lock?
Fillmore?
Fillmore. Yeah,
Why
he
didn't you
did.
pick them then?
I thought
You're playing
I
the
might
game?
get him on the way
All
back.
right. I
He
get
was
that.
hoping.
I get that. All right, AJ, you've got another pick. Your second pick overall, starting out round 2.
Okay, so now I'm going to take, I feel like there's a lot of good 1 seeds, so I think I can take one all the way on the back end. I'm going through the 2 through 4 bucket. I am taking Wellsville girls in Class B1. They're the 4th seed in that bracket, so I'm not taking a 2 or taking a 3. But they're already in the quarterfinals. They're going to play Dansville. They've done much better. They haven't played this year, but they've done much better against common opponents against Dansville by about a tune of 10 to 15 points in their common games. So I like that first round quarterfinal game. They'll probably maybe get Young Women's Prep in the semifinals, the 1 seed if they can make it there. I like that matchup for Wellsville. And then even in a championship game, there are some good teams on the other side of that bracket, Waterloo and Hornell.
Yeah.
But Wellsville only lost by 5 to Hornell earlier this year. So in my 2 through 4 bucket, I think I can get them into the finals, and then I think they can give whoever they face a run for their money in the title game.
Waterloo and Hornell.
Waterloo.
Exactly. Like if you're going to go 2 through 4 and go B1, you probably could take any one of those 3 teams and feel pretty good about it. I mean, those have been good teams this year. But Wellsville, like AJ said, will open their tournament on Friday at home against Dansville, and then likely get the 1 seed Young Women's College Prep in the semis on March the 3rd. All right, back to Gerard for his second pick of the draft.
This has been my favorite team to watch this year. Only saw them one. This I don't know if a favorite, but most impressive team. Keswick girls. Those
That's Karen's
girls
team.
can
I
play.
love them girls.
They're probably a top 10 team in Section 5, and they're playing, what, C3 or something like that?
And they've beaten some.
Yeah.
They beat HFL. They've beaten some good teams.
Yeah. They did lose a close game to Waterloo, who plays way above them.
Yep.
So they're a good. They've been beating everybody convincingly.
Keswick is the 1 seed at Class C2. Go ahead, Gerard.
Yeah, all their girls are good. They got 3 sets of sisters. So
Two sets of sisters.
2 sets of sisters. They have great chemistry. Bree Brenner, Braylon Eiserman, Riley Benner, Riley Nogeldinger, Alicia Wood, and Abby Wood. Those are 2 sisters. Those are the 2 bigs. I mean, they can
8th
shoot
grade.
from outside.
One of them is in 8th grade.
Yeah, I think it's Abby. I'm not sure. But yeah, she could shoot from outside. She's tough inside. This team moves the ball. Their coach doesn't even coach because he's done such a great job preparing them. He's just sitting down like this. Yeah, that's what I taught them already.
A lot of prep work.
You can hear the jealousy in Gerard's voice. Yeah, I don't got to do nothing on game. That's how good he is.
Because he's
the coach
prepared
only
them
has-
so well.
And he's only got like 2 subs, so there's not much substitution.
for real.
They don't need to. So by the time they're tired, they're up 30.
So Keswick, like we said, is the number 1 seed at Class C2.
Gotcha,
They actually
Keswick.
don't play a game until Saturday. Their opener is 2 o'clock at home against the winner of Pavilion and HAC. The number 2 seed in that bracket, who also has a bye, is Dundee Bradford. The championship game will be at Finger Lakes Community College on March the 8th. York is the 3 seed there, by the way. Keswick was a really good pick. I like that one, too.
My one pause, which is why I didn't have them on my list of 1 seeds, is just that Dundee Bradford,
Bradford, yeah.
Kendall Parker.
Yeah.
I have a problem maybe picking against the best player in a bracket, which is what I would have been doing there. So that's going to be quite a title game. If it
Thanks
gets
for
to
adding that, because I really wanted to mention Dundee's a very solid team.
Yeah.
But
It's
they
hard
got
to go-
5 people who are almost as good as 7 people who are up there with Kendall. They're good.
I'm going to say almost. Kendall is a little bit
yeah,
different.
yeah, she's different.
She definitely is a little bit different, but they don't have as much weapons as Keswick, and it's a team sport, right? Kendall can't do it on their own, so yeah, that's a good pick.
Next up is Rachel with her second pick of this draft. What do you got?
Okay. I think I'm going to go to the boys. I think we're going to go for my 2 to 4 seeds. I'm going to go with Wayne, the Wayne boys.
Oh, all right. We got
look
our
against
ahead.
me.
That's
And
right.
I know
We
like
had it
East
had.
might be, that might be what it comes down to. But I think, AJ, can I steal your bracket actually, so I can
Sure.
fact check what I'm saying here?
Too late.
Yeah, I'm like it's already
Didn't put one
there.
out for,
Okay, let me just double check what I'm about to say here. Okay.
So Wayne is the 2 seed at
Yes.
Class A. We talked about this as well. They got to open. They got to play our first round game against Mid Lakes, the 15
Yes.
seed. That's actually tonight. So if there's a crazy upset, this broadcast is going to sound terrible. But we're going to assume that Wayne can figure that one out. Go ahead, Rach.
I mean, obviously East is the team that's gonna be the one to beat in this bracket. But I think, okay, if Wayne goes as far as I expect them to and hope them to after I've just made this pick, Geneva might be the only team standing in their way, and they've already beat them twice in the regular season by convincing wins. So that's why I'm kind of going with Wayne, and we'll make it fun between me and Karen and see what happens here.
It's hard to go against. It's hard. I mean, when you have a Cameron Blankenberg,
Exactly,
right? Like
exactly.
when you have a Cameron Blankenberg, I can't say I'm mad at you. He's averaging 28.9 points
Yeah.
a game. One of the top in Section 5, so I can't even. He's behind. I think he's just one behind. Only one person's ahead of him. He might go crazy with 40.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the same discussion we would have been having last year.
Yep.
Like, we've been like, oh, Wayne's good, Cam Blankenberg's good, but East, and then look what they did in the championship
Yeah.
game.
So I mean, I'm not really mad at that. I just don't think they're deep enough. They're just not deep enough like they were last year.
I love Wayne, but I don't think they're as strong as last year.
Oh, no.
And I think East is even better than they were last year. So
I'm having deja vu from my Brighton football team.
Well, that just means that they're going to win it all.
To a
Yeah,
degree,
so
too,
Wayne-
This is just the Dundee Bradford Ketchel conversation we just had, except that Rachel's basically picking the Kendall Parker side.
Yeah.
The team with
Basically,
the
yeah.
best player as opposed to the best team.
Yeah.
All right, Karen, you have the last pick in round 2 and then the first pick in round 3. So you got 2 in a row.
So I can't do a 1 seed again, right? Because I got that.
No,
That's,
No, you can't.
wild
That'll
card.
be your
You got
wild
your
That
card.
would be your wild card. Then you'd be out of 1 seeds though.
okay, I have to go with Penfield boys basketball. I have to go with that only because they're 17-3, Dad. And when you have Jackson Green, who's averaging 13.4 points per game, you got Zarzicki averaging 12.2 points a game. You've got Jake McCarthy averaging 12 points a game. And of course, you got the big guy, Patrick Emling, averaging 18 points a game. I always think it's problematic when you have 4 guys on one team that's averaging double figures. That's dangerous. And then you have a leader in Michael Moxley, who is just like hands down a leader on that court. I'm going with them for my wild card.
We talked about teams that begin their playoff run late. This is probably the last team who will play their first sectional game. Penfield doesn't go until Saturday, 7 o'clock at home. They will get the winner of Churchville and Edison. The 2 seed at Class AA1, that will be
Thomas,
Penfield's.
right?
Yeah, both Webster schools are 2 and 3 after that. And you know, to be honest, I don't think Schrader has had the type of season that you would generally associate with a 3 seed. Thomas is dangerous. Thomas has got players.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean,
They
they're
took him to overtime. Really.
Yeah.
They did. I mean, Thomas is 14-6. But you have Levi Kulik, right? He's just a tremendous athlete. And they play, coach get them playing together. Like, I love how they play hard. They don't take any plays off.
They defend.
They defend well, and it's a dangerous 14-6 team. But if Penfield could get past that, I think. But I'm not going to sleep on Schrader either. I know they're 10-10. I know they're 10-10. But I always think like of Schrader, they're well coached. They're like a weird 10-10 team. Like they're a dangerous bunch of athletes. That's a 10-10. So I'm not putting anything behind that coach.
They've had some good games against some good teams.
That's almost there.
But
That's
then
almost
they,
there.
then they slip up against teams that you figured that they would beat.
I saw Schrader push Thomas at Thomas this year, really
Yeah.
good game. The other thing about this bracket, too, is that if you want to go back to traditional powers in Section 5,
Talking about Victor?
well, this bracket's inverted, you know, because
Yeah.
Penfield, Thomas, Schrader are not traditional powers.
Yeah.
And then the next 3 teams, Irondequoit, Victor, and Hilton,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe not so much Hilton, but certainly the other 2 schools,
Yeah.
Irondequoit and Victor, that's a sectional final,
Yeah, oh,
you know,
yeah.
3 years out of 5, you know, so.
Victor is tough though. They're 8-12. But they got Griffin Hopkins, y'all. They got Griffin Hopkins averaging 25 points a game. He's had a 40-point game, a 38-point game. If he gets hot, you just never know. I just don't think that they're as deep and they cannot go in their bench. They're well coached, but when you can't go into your bench, it's hard to go against Penfield. Penfield's they're one of the biggest teams in Section 5.
I think the bottom line with me there is that when you take a team like Penfield's a 1 seed who looks really good, they haven't done it. This is not a school that's finished, you know. So winning a sectional title would be brand new for this school. But I think you're right; it's a good pick. All right, you're up again now with the first pick in round number 3.
Okay, so I gotta go.
Yeah, you're done with 1 seeds now. You cannot pick any more 1 seeds.
This is gonna be very controversial, y'all. And y'all ain't gonna agree with this. I'm going with Lions.
Okay.
I'm going with Lions. I know there are 4.
I'm assuming boys, right?
Yes, boys. The girls are good too. I know that they're a 4 seed, right? But when you got J.J. Johnson, right, lost some weight, can get up, can do all of that, they play hard, and their motto is, if you're not a dog, you're dog food. That's literally their motto. Literally, that's how they come out of every break, right? They are dogs, man, and I've seen them play. They pushed World of Inquiry and beat World of Inquiry last week.
It's a big win.
That's a big win, and then they're
World
going
of
in.
Inquiry is state ranked.
Right, and they're going in with a lot of confidence, right? And if they get it down low to JJ, I don't think anybody could stop him in that class.
No.
Avon is very dangerous because you have Josh Harder, and they're the most
You got a lot of
dangerous
guys.
team.
Trevor Stroud.
Trevor Stroud, they're one of my favorite teams.
Yeah.
But I think that if they could get it down, JJ is going to handle business.
That's just my only reserve about Lions is the fact that they get Avon in that semifinal game. I think that's going to be a really good game. I might also think, Lions could be favored. It could be Avon, who knows? But just the fact that they got to play that in the semifinals and then they got to play another game.
Yeah.
They're in a tough spot there.
They are. But you know what? The reason I like Avon, because Avon has had some of the biggest wins in Section 5 that nobody's talked about. They've beaten Aquinas. They came on the road and beat, that's playing 4 classes up. So they beat Aquinas handily, and they beat UPrep. A team that's in that to play up 3 classes and beat those teams, I just would not put it beyond. Josh Harder, their cousins, their parents are brothers and siblings. I just think that Trevor Stroud and Josh Harder is 2 of the best in Section 5. But I think J.J. Johnson down low, if he could get it down low, they have a good shot.
Lions opens their sectional run Wednesday night at home, 6 o'clock against number 13, North Rose Wolcott. Then get the winner of Marcus Whitman Attica in round 2. And then, we talk a lot about Avon, and deservedly so. But ER sitting there in the 2 seed. If Lions does make it to the championship game, they're not an easy out either. So that is.
And they're on a 7-game winning streak.
That's a sneaky tough B2 bracket right there. Yeah, exactly.
They're on a 7-game winning streak. They had a loss to Marcus Whitman. That they should have won that game. And I know the Tanner brothers are really good, really fast. They could shoot it. Eli and his brother and Judah. But I just think that they're a little bit small. They're small. They're a small team.
J.J. Johnson will be it's a tough matchup for anybody.
Yeah.
But they'll have a tough time containing him.
All right, second pick in round number 3. Rachel, you are back on the clock.
Okay, I'm going to go for my 5-seed Cinderella pick here, and I'm going to
First one of anybody. Go ahead.
I'm going to go with the Palmac girls.
I had that on my list.
I kind of like that pick.
They're 15-5, so they're not like true Cinderella. They're the 5 seed, but they have a lot of talent, and Taryn Goodness, I feel like I love watching her the times that I've seen her play, and I feel like she's capable of really pulling this team too.
I like that pick. I like that.
Where is the Palmac class here?
That is Class A.
Class A.
Oh, they're A.
5 seed.
Yeah.
Sinking them down to Class B. Okay, Palmac begins their sectional run Wednesday night at home against Wayne, 6 o'clock game. They will get the winner of Sutherland and Batavia in the first round. That'd be the first round where you can score points in this bracket. And then that is East High, Eastridge, and Mercy, 1, 2, 3. Rachel, if you pull a sectional champ out of this bracket with a 5 seed, that is a call because that Class A bracket looks really, really good. All right, Gerard, you got the third pick in round 3. You are up next.
I'm going to use my wild card and pick another number 1 seed. I got to go with Athena.
I know.
Dang it.
Yeah.
You know you was going to go
They've
with
been
Athena.
sitting at the top of my list. I've been just waiting for the right time. I've been waiting for the right time.
This team is, they lost a tough sectional championship last year against Victor. So they're real hungry for this. You got the twins, Isaac and Isaiah Reeves. You got Nashawn Folks. You have Russell Ellis Jr. They beat Rush Henrietta. They're the only team to beat Rush Henrietta this year in Section 5. They're hungry. They're talented. They defend, and I think they're ready to take it this year.
So Athena will open their sectional run Saturday at home, 2 o'clock against the winner of Arcadia and Wilson. They are the 1 seed at Class AA2. And I'll tell you what, I'm stunned they lasted this long because, no knock on Canandaigua. I haven't seen them much this year. They're the 2 seed. I know Monroe's a pretty solid 3 seed. But from the resume that Athena's put together, to me, they look like a really heavy favorite to win this bracket.
Yeah. That's why I picked them.
Good pick. It's a good pick.
But I am going to say, don't be shocked. Canandaigua pushed them into overtime. But Monroe got dogs.
Yeah.
Monroe have dogs. They play hard. Tyus Mullins, McKinney.
Yeah.
I am just saying, dogs. They got dogs. They got a good big guy. I agree with the Athena pick, but I said Monroe is right behind them, y'all. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think they at least make it to the championship game.
Monroe?
No,
Athena.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
and I think they'll win it.
That championship against either Monroe or Canandaigua will probably be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
All right, AJ, you are going to conclude your draft now. You got 2 picks in a row. You have to take at least one Cinderella 5+ seed, then you can take anything you want.
All right, I'm going to get my Cinderella off the board right now, and I am going to take the Finney boys down in
Good
Class
call.
C3. They've had a really impressive season so far this year. Their highlight of their season, beating Lions on the road at Lions, a really good win. They got it at the buzzer. Lions started off really cold in that game and was able to make it a tight one at the end, but Finney got that win. They've got Pavilion in the first round. I like that matchup there. Looking at some common games between the two, Finney beat Fillmore earlier this year, and Pavilion lost to Fillmore by 35. So just looking at common games. And then they've got two really good players, Finney does. Braylon Broom, and Ethan Krog.
Yeah.
I believe I'm saying those names correctly. So you got two guys who can really go. I like that in sectional play, ball handlers, guys who can score. So I'm going to go with Finney as my Cinderella on the boys' side. I know they've got Honeyway, which we'll get to, and they've got some talented scorers, but give me Finney.
I mean, Ethan Krog is averaging about 26 points per game. But you're going against Leighton Williams in that same category that's actually averaging more than anybody else in Section 5. He's averaging 30 points per game. He's had multiple 40-point games, but Ethan Krog is definitely tough. He's averaging 26 points a game. I like his game a lot, too.
Leighton Williams and Wheatland Chile, they're the 3 seed. They're the other half of that bracket.
Yeah, they're tough.
If you get a 5-seed wild card, the way we do this draft, to
Yeah.
the championship game, you're already winning.
Yeah.
So that's facing Leighton Williams. AJ's dreaming of that happening for fitting in this bracket. All right, AJ, you got one more pick. It can be anything you want.
And I do want to shout out Honeyway as well, the number 1 seed.
Yes.
They've got Landon Washburn, I believe, is his
Yep,
name.
the
He is-
twin.
Brother,
Yeah, he has been scoring a lot for them too. So that'll be a tough one.
He's
but,
about 6'7". His brother's like 6'6".
Yeah,
Averaging
so.
25 points per game, reaches 1,000. Yeah, I
As
like
a
him a lot.
sophomore.
Yep.
Okay, so now I've got to pick my last 1 seed, and I'm kind of choosing between 3 different teams. And last year, I went away from this team, and it would have given me the title. So I'm going to pick them, the Hilton girls in
Dang
Class AA.
That's a good choice.
That's him.
Just made it last year to the state championship game. They did lose quite a bit of talent from that team last year. They lost a lot of height specifically, but they still got Mallory Highs. And other than one game late in the season, they kind of rolled through Section 5. So I know there's a lot of good teams in Class AA. They're probably going to have to play Schrader, BK in the semifinals. Aquinas might be waiting for them in that championship game. But give me Mallory Highs in the championship game. That pedigree, the scoring. She turns it on when it matters most. They can win low-scoring games. They can win high-scoring games. I'm taking the Hilton girls.
I mean, Mallory is behind Jayla Bell, right? Jayla Bell's got about 2,100. There's only 2 current girls in Section 5 playing with 2,000 points, right? Jayla Bell got like 2,165. Mallory's at 2,045 coming into sectionals. When you can put that many points up on the board, you don't bet against her. She's had multiple 30-plus point games and double-double games. I think she's had 14 double-double, 3 triple-double games. I like that pick, AJ. I like that a
You're
lot.
just a fountain of knowledge, huh?
I like numbers. Once it goes
She said
in.
don't bet against Hilton, but apparently she is. So.
Hilton, like we said, is the 1 seed of Class AA. They'll get Gage Chili to open their tournament tonight, actually.
Yep.
Tuesday night at home.
I like
and
your
then,
chances in that one.
yeah, they should win that game. It's a 17 seed. This is the biggest bracket I think of all 18 brackets. And then, like we said, the semifinal game, Schrader or Kearney, either one of those are a test. Penfield, the 2 seed. Aquinas, who Gerard took as his 2 through 4 seed in terms of his pick, is the 3 seed. So yeah, this is a nasty bracket.
Yeah.
You end up at Finger Lakes on March the 8th at 7 o'clock. You've already done a good job this year. All right, Gerard, your last pick has to be a 5 seed or above.
Okay. I'm not picking this team, but I kind of wanted to, just so the Rush Henrietta trolls could come after me. I was going to pick McLean, but no. I'm going to go with Eugenio Maria Charter School.
Oh, number 5 seed,
Yeah, my man Brian Jackson got these guys playing. Lack of depth scares me a little bit, but they got a scorer in Patterson.
Yeah, Seth is good.
Yeah, he's a knockdown shooter. They got Hippolito. They've got some nice pieces on there. And as a 5 seed, I just don't know.
And C1 is kind of a winnable bracket on the boys. So there's a lot of good teams, but no maybe like
Right.
standouts,
No standouts,
in,
yeah.
in C1. They're kind of all in the cluster.
Yeah, Eugenio Maria is the 5 seed at Class C1. They get Red Creek to open their sectional run on Friday night at home. Or no, I'm sorry, that'll be at Red Creek at 6 o'clock. They would, if they win, assumably they'd get the number 1 seed Geneseo in round number 2. Alexander and Gananda are the 2 and 3 seeds on the other half of that C1 bracket.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they get in the semis. Yeah.
As always, with a 5+, if you get any points out of that, that's a win,
Yeah.
in this format. All right, Rachel, you have your last pick now. You have already done your Cinderella pick, so you can take anybody you want. You have your wild card left.
Okay, I think no one's taking the RH boys.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to go with the RH boys.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Obviously, Fairport is their biggest competition in that bracket. And those games have only been 4-point games, losses to Fairport, both of those. So I think that will be, if that's what it comes down to, which assuming it probably will be. But no, I just think the RH boys have really done it all year. I mean, and I just think they're fun to watch, and I think they're very capable of
They've won a lot of big games this
a
year.
lot of big games, yeah.
Coached by Calvin
And
Betts,
and-
guys who've
yeah.
been there, done that in terms of a player, too.
And a lot of talent, not just one person. Like, they obviously have the duo of Council and Tiger, but a lot
And
of
they
talent.
got Amir,
Yeah.
Abdul Haq Bradford.
Yeah.
6'7".
Yeah.
Jumps, blocks, shots, rebounds.
Yeah,
Jaquin Brown's been doing well
Jaquin,
in the
yeah.
backstretch, so
That's
yeah.
definitely kind of showed late in the year kind of their depth emerging as not just, a two-man show there. That, that triple overtime game where they beat Fairport. I forget, I think it was Council fouled out,
Yep,
correct?
yep.
So they had to rely on some different players, and
Yep.
they were still able to come away with that win.
It's funny because I think they might be the best team in Section 5. East is right up there too, but they're not a lock because Fairport
Yeah.
has been playing really. All 3 of their losses have been heartbreakers in the last seconds.
Rush Henrietta begins their sectional tournament not until next Monday.
Ooh, they're off for a while.
Well, they're already in the semis because the AAA bracket, there's only 6 teams. So they will play at home. I'm sorry, no, they'll play at Gates Chile. They will not get a home playoff game because it's all neutral sites once you get to the semifinals. They get the winner of University Prep and McQuaid, which in most years is a tough game no matter who it is. Aquinas is the 3 seed, is lurking in that bracket too. I mean,
Yeah.
I would not be stunned if it's AQ in the championship game, no matter, I mean, not even a knock on Fairport. Aquinas has athletes, and I think they're dangerous enough.
Man, Aquinas got athletes on athletes.
Yeah.
You're talking about Nooney. You're talking about
Nooney's up there for
Jedier.
player of the year. Yeah. Mackie
Nooney's,
Terry.
Nooney's averaging 22 points. You got Mackie Terry under. You got Jedier Breedlove. They're a dangerous squad.
And then Quante Gillian.
Yeah,
Big
big
dude,
guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're athletes, so I wouldn't put anything past that. And they're a 4 and a 5. Like, you prepping McQuaid is like a funky thing because
Yeah.
they're a 4 and a 5. You just never know.
Yeah.
Like 4 and a 5, you just never know. Yeah.
All right, last pick of the draft is Karen. You have to take a Cinderella.
So I'm gonna edge. I'm gonna edge my bets.
Hedge. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
I think I
Listen,
know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going?
Little Victor Boys action.
No,
I was
but
thinking of that.
I was thinking about that. That was the
They
thing.
score.
They score, but I'm gonna do Pittsford Sutherland.
Yeah.
Because they beat
Yeah.
Athena, right? That was a shocking thing, and they've beaten Mendon twice. They got the Birch, brothers, right?
Birch brothers,
The
yeah.
Birch brothers, Hayden and Jackson Birch, right? They're number 5 seed. They got a new coach in Coach Derek Kemp. Only because I know I got East in there. I'm edging my bet a little bit, but because I have to take a 5.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going with Pittsford Sutherland.
They were on my list too, so that's
They were?
a good pick, yeah.
Okay.
Sutherland
was on my
begins
list.
their sectional run tonight, Tuesday, against Greece Olympia at home. They would get the winner of the 4-seed Batavia and the 13-seed School of the Arts on Friday, and then assuming if seeds hold and Sutherland's still alive, they'd catch East in the semifinals after that. All right, so that will conclude our draft. Summing up here, we were a little boys heavy this year. Let's see, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5. Not that boys heavy, 6. So it was 10 boys teams, 6 girls teams. I'll read everybody's team, and you guys can real quick kind of think who might have the best draft so far. So Karen went East boys, Lions boys as a 4 seed, Sutherland boys as a 5 seed, and Penfield boys as her wild card. Rachel went Fairport girls as her 1 seed, Wayne boys a 2 seed, Palmac girls a 5 seed, and RH boys as her wild card. Gerard Keshqua girls, Aquinas girls, Eugenio Maria boys, and Athena boys. AJ is Fillmore boys, Wellsville girls, Finney boys, and Hilton girls. AJ was minding the small classes
Yeah.
this year for some hidden gold. So give me, Karen, we'll go down the table real quick here. Give me your take on what team, just kind of listening to it off the top of your head, you like the best now.
AJ got some good bets. I'm not gonna lie. AJ might be in the lead because he went with Fillmore, which is kind of like a lock. I mean, people are gonna be pissed off that I said that, or upset that I said that. I'm gonna stand on business with mine. I'm standing on business with my East High boys. I'm standing on business with my Lions. I'm standing on business with mine.
Right.
I'm gonna go with me.
Rachel, what do you think?
I'm standing on business too.
Okay,
All
girl.
right, how about we pick someone else who isn't our own?
Yeah.
No, I like Karen's. I think Karen. I like what you're betting on. We have a few going against each other, but
Yeah, we're neck and neck in a couple of them.
Gerard, what do you think? Do using AJ's rule, you can't pick yourself now.
Well, I was going to say, as a former coach
Who lost last year?
who
Came in
lost last year,
You didn't lose. You came in last.
then I'm going with you.
AJ, what do you think?
Outside of myself, I'm going to go with Gerard just because I think his team has the most potential to win multiple sectional titles. I think, Rachel and Karen, that you guys had some good teams, but like they're playing against each other. They might have like a lesser ceiling. And then I just do want to point out, when you mentioned the boys versus the girls, I kind of thought this was going to happen just because the girls' brackets, there's so many brackets with 2 or 3 good teams. So it's almost as if we didn't take them because there are more good girls teams, not just because we don't like the girls' teams.
Well, this is what happened last year too. I think it was the Class A bracket from girls.
Double
you guys
A,
sat, double A. You guys did not touch it because there were 7 teams that all could win the bracket. So something that happened again this
I'm
year.
glad you cleared that up because I don't want people to say, well, you guys didn't concentrate on the girls. But he is right.
Yeah.
It's so heavy with the girls. Sometimes it's a little bit easier with the boys. But I want to shout out Jake Giudice, my guy, Jack Scottney. They did a lot of research. We're going to give Jack, we're going to give him some airtime. We appreciate you. Jack is our one of our youth council members, and we appreciate you helping us out. It's a lot of research to do this, so we appreciate you. Thanks, Jack. Thank
All
you.
right, that's going to wrap up our draft for AJ, for Gerard, for Rachel, for Karen, and for Jack. I'm Thad. Thanks for watching, and let's play some basketball. We'll see who's going to be holding up some bricks come the end of next week.